Hi, it's Steve and Caleb with Brownells here, bringing you another episode of Smyth Busters. Caleb, you got a good one this time, I understand.
I do. This one, like many, is also viewer requested.
Nice.
And it is that with the AR platform, regardless if it's an AR-15 or AR-308, that if you are shooting a larger caliber, you need a heavier hammer spring.
Okay.
And I kind of like in my brain have an idea of why this originated, but so let's back up a little bit here. So when I say heavier caliber, larger caliber, what I'm referring to is like your in the AR-15 platform, like your 458 SOCOM, 450 Bushmaster, 50 Beowulf, those calibers.
That's what I was picturing.
Right, and then in your AR-308 platform, we have a variety of other ones.
Yep.
This one in particular, this exact one, is the 8.6 blackout. So this would, even though it's technically a 6.5 Creedmoor case, for all intents and purposes, it's still technically falls into that larger caliber category.
Right, but everything on the 308 platform is going to take a large rifle primer, right? Pretty much?
Pretty much, yeah. So here's the deal. I think where this myth kind of originated is from individuals who aren't really too up to speed with reloading in general or hand loading.
Okay.
So here's my idea of where it came from. This is my initial theory.
Take us through it.
My hypothesis, if you will. So someone did a conversion on one of their guns, converted it to a different caliber, right? So they ended up with a gun that was overgassed, okay? And for whatever reason, they changed it to a heavier hammer spring, but it was just enough to get it cycling properly because it added enough resistance to slow the bolt down just enough so that their gun cycled. That's my guess. This is just a complete, in my brain, just a guess. I haven't talked to this person to confirm this, but that's where I think this probably came from.
Okay. Or maybe the guy converted over to 7.62 by 39 and was getting light strikes.
See, maybe that's another one too, because
that is a problem in the AR-15 platform.
It is a very, very common problem in the AR-15 platform, because those, not only is the AR-15 firing pin such low mass in general, but in a lot of your aftermarket triggers, your hammer spring is so light. They lighten up the hammer spring to get a better trigger pull in a lot of aftermarket triggers.
And who knows what kind of hammer or trigger he put in that gun?
Who knows what kind of trigger?
Kind of hammer spring?
Yeah, who knows that? And just a standard mil-spec AR-15 trigger has issues igniting those Russian primers.
Right.
So
it'll set off a small rifle military style primer, loaded 5.56 all day long.
Right.
And there's not much else it won't ignite.
Right. But yeah, whenever you combine those two things, or several things in the AR-15 platform, you just have a recipe for disaster. And once you go troubleshooting it, you can kind of narrow down what actually caused the issue. And there's a reason why, in the AR-15 platform, ones that do fire 7.62-39, we're kind of getting off on a tangent, but I'm not stopping. Train's up to speed, Steve. You can't slow it down.
All right, I'll just jump off at the next jump.
So the reason, so where was I? What was I saying before?
7.62 by 39.
Yeah, great caliber, by the way. It's all right. It's decent. Yeah, I like it. So, anywho, as I was saying, so 7.62-39 in the AR-15 platform, all of the ones that do work work relatively decent. They take, modified magazines. The ones that work best, in my opinion, are the ones that take AK mags.
That's as good as it gets.
That's as good as it gets. But even the ones that don't take AK mags, if we're just talking about upper receiver assemblies and we're not talking about the AK mag anymore,
right?
They use a heavier power hammer spring, such as a Wolf hammer spring or something. You're not using a hammer that has lightning cuts in it and stuff like that. You're using a full mass hammer, so you get the full mass actually striking that firing pin. Not only that, but you're using a firing pin that is a little bit beefier. So if you actually take the firing pin out of a lot of those 7.62-39 bolt carrier groups, you'll notice that it's a lot thicker It's a thick boy compared to those standard AR-15
As
firing
is the
pins.
308 platform.
As is a 308 platform.
So if you take an AR-15 match style hammer spring, which is lighter than normal, and try to use it in a 308 platform, you're going to get some light strikes.
Yep. So.
Use full power in the 308 platform. That's the takeaway here.
Yeah. So what was even the myth now? Like we just.
You had to use a heavy hammer spring for larger calibers.
Yeah, and that's not the case. That has absolutely nothing to do with it. It all has to do with what kind of primers you're using, and those heavy
Right.
Russian primers. You got to do something about it.
But a standard Colt hammer spring or a mil-spec hammer spring will set off about anything
Yeah.
until you get to the special case of the 7.62x39.
Yeah, so your 450 Bushmaster, 50 Beowulf, whatever it is, any
Right.
of that stuff, it's fine with just your standard AR-15, AR-308 triggers. You're
Yeah.
good.
So really, that myth is kind of busted if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. If you disagree, or if you agree, please leave us a comment below. In the meantime, hit that like and subscribe button, and stay tuned because we will be back later with another edition of Smyth Busters.